Hi, I'm Jenny Fish with One Big Happy Yarn Company, and welcome to episode 2 of our fingerless mitts with a flip top knit along. Yay! If you haven't started yet and you still need to get your kit, you can get that at onebighappy.com. The kit includes the pattern and all the yarn that you need to make these wonderful fingerless mitts. In the last episode, we have gone ahead and we knit the cuff. We knit all the way up to where we do the thumb increases. We work the thumb increases, so we're right here now. We're ready to pull these stitches off, and then we're ready to finish up and make the fingerless mitt part up here as well. Then we'll pick up the stitches and make the little flip top thing. I'll show you exactly how to do that. Okay, so here we are. I've got 17 stitches from the beginning of the round to my stitch marker. I want to pull those off. I'm going to put them on, pull them off onto some scrap yarn, but if you have a stitch holder that you like to use or some other way, that's perfectly fine. The idea is we need to get these off our needle so that we can hold them aside for later, and then we'll come back and work the rest of that thumb. But I'm just going to take my tapestry needle with some scrap yarn and slide them right over, just like so. All the way till I get to my stitch marker, which is 17 stitches. Just like that. And then I'm just gonna put a little slip knot just so that they don't slide off this. Don't think they will, but just in case, just like that. Okay, so my active yarn that I am knitting with is on my back needle right here. Now I need to close this gap between where I pulled off the stitches for my thumb and where the back of my hand or the front of my hand. That's something I need to talk to you guys about as well with the thumb. These, at this point, are reversible. So you're gonna do 2 just like this, 1 for each hand. Where it's going to change is when we add the flip top. So at this point, for both fingerless mitts, your thumb is going to be on this side of your work. But that's going to change. So don't worry about it. You're doing 2 exactly like I've showed you here. Don't worry about trying to flip it to the other side. We're good. Not a problem. Okay, but we do need to bridge the gap between the stitches that we just pulled off and the stitches that are on the front needle. That is this area right in here, right there. So to do that, we are going to cast on 3 stitches. You can use a backwards loop cast on, you can use a knitted cast on, whatever you prefer, but you need to cast on 3 stitches to fill this gap. I like to do a knitted cast on, and I'll show you how to work that. I'm bringing my yarn, I'm on the inside of my work. Notice that? This is the purl side. This is the outside, the stockinette, or the, where you see your knit stitches on the outside. Okay, so I'm going to knit into this stitch, bring it up, slide it, twist it a little, slide it back on my needle. There's 1 stitch, 2 stitch, and 3 stitch. So now I've increased 3 stitches. Now I'm turning my work this way. And voila, there we go. Now I'm back to knitting in the round, just like normal. And remember, we're still alternating colors. So we're going to knit with this color till 3 stitches before the next color, vice versa. Keep going like that. When you are working your thumb gusset and you're doing your increases, if you happen to have that little slip right in there, just continue on in pattern. So when you come around for, like you've worked your increase and it's in between those 3 stitches that you're slipping, just keep to the 3. Just keep that in mind. It'll still work. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, continue knitting around with the yellow until 3 stitches before the color change. Okay, so I'm 3 stitches before the color change. Remember, I just slide those, which you've been doing this for quite a while now, so you got the hang of this. and then pick up and knit. You're gonna go ahead and continue knitting in the round on the shorter piece with your thumb stitches out to the side until your piece measures from the cuff to 5 inches. So there's a few more rounds to go. And then you're gonna go back and work that ribbing, the 1x1 ribbing, just like we did down here, and then bind off. So once you finish that up, then meet me back here and I'll show you how we add and make the little flip top. On this sample here, I just went ahead and bound off so I could get to showing you, but what yours will look more like is this minus that. So you'll have these stitches on your scrap yarn, and then you're gonna go ahead, finish up, do your ribbing, and bind off. These will still be on scrap yarn. Now what we need to do for the left glove is you'll have your thumb on this side and you're gonna pick up across here. For your right glove, you will have your thumb on this side. So you just flip it from here to here. Oh, that's a little in piece there. And you're gonna pick up on this side. So it'll be the back of the hand is where you're gonna pick up to make this piece right here. And I will show you on this one. Just wanted to give you a reference point there. Okay, so it's right around here. You choose where you wanna pick it up. And I say that because you're gonna measure in inches. You're gonna stick your hand in just to double check how far you wanna make the top of your flip-flop. So for me, I just kind of used this as a reference and I went along here. And when I picked up, you're gonna pick up 20 stitches across the top here. And when I picked up, I wanted to pick up so that they were in the right position on my needle. So they were seated on my needle, ready to be knit on the next round. So what I mean by that, because that does sound like a little confusing. If you look at these stitches, they make a V. They go like this. So look at this orange stitch right here. They make a V. Now, if I pick up this, when I'm ready to knit into it, it has a slight angle like this, which is kind of backwards from what we're used to. If I pick up this side of the stitch, then it's seated normally on my needle as if I'm ready to knit into it. So this is the leg of the stitch that I want to pick up. And I need to pick up 20 of these all the way across. And I like to use this line right here or maybe the one up above. Let's go here. This is orange. You can see this a little better. So there's 1 and 2 and 3. See how I'm just sliding underneath the leg of that stitch right onto my needle. So there's 4. Your tension will get a little tight as you go along, and that's fine. You'll need to work with that a little bit. Once it gets a little tight, so tight that you can't see the next stitch, then I like to slide it over to my cord and then come back around. Or you could hold this aside, get a double pointed needle, because by being on the cord, that takes some of the tension off of those other stitches. And pick up another group. So this does take a little bit of manipulation, but it's well worth it because it gives you such a nice bridge across there. Okay, so then there we go. So let's see, I've got 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20, right there. Okay. So there we go. I've got all those stitches right across there picked up. They're resting on my cable. Now, I'm going to come across here, slide over to this side, and just knit right into this. Now I've got orange stitch there. Now I'm going to use the yellow for the top, or for the next round, I mean. So knit. I'm going to knit all of these stitches. If for some reason it's a little tight, just these few that are on the back of your mitt might be a little tight. Just work with them. Maybe still a little tension from the stitch you just knit or the next one until you can get all of those knit across. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'll show you how I did the knitted cast on for the next 20 stitches. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and knit into this last stitch here. So I've got 20 stitches on here, and I'm making this flip top. Here's where I picked them up. Now I need to cast on for the other half of this circle, this little mitten top. I keep thinking muffin top, but it's mitten top for this little mitten top. Okay, I know, just silly things in my brain that happen. Okay, I like to do the knitted cast on. You can do a backwards loop cast on. You can do whatever kind of cast on you feel comfortable with, but the knitted cast on, like I showed you before, I'm on the inside of my work. I knit one, flip it around, bring it over. Now you'll notice that I'm putting these all on the same needle that I had before. I'm going to back up and go back to my trick of putting a stitch marker there, then doing my cast on. And the reason for this is because I'll have to bend my cord to go back to magic loop after I get these stitches cast on. And by having that stitch marker there, it'll give me a great place to pull. Okay, let me go ahead and finish these up. Then I will show you how we join in the round for the mitten top, for the flip top, and continue working in the spiral knitting, the helix, helical, jogless, one row, color, stripe. You get the idea. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've cast on the stitches for the other half of my flip top. I have my stitch marker in the middle, so I know where that's at. I'm going to slide these to my cord, pull through like we've done before, and active yarn on the back, needles at the ready. Here we go. Okay, so we are changing colors here. Because this is the second round, we've started like a new portion of our work. We're going to go ahead and start off right away, just like we did down here with the new color. You'll knit to 3 stitches before the end. It is going to leave this open your first round, but that's okay because you'll have your tails to weave in at the end that'll help connect those. But as you get going, knitting in the round, it'll close it up. So I want to make sure that I point that out. I do know that that happens, but we're just imagining right now. So yeah, you pick up with your next color that will leave this open. You knit to 3 stitches. Once you grab the yellow yarn to start on the next round after the orange round, it closes it up. Okay, so you go ahead, finish that off until you have, now in the pattern, I give exact measurements. I'm going to stop you right here and say, not everybody's fingers are the same length. So try it on, see how it fits. Okay, when it gets this piece here to the tip of the pinky, maybe a little bit past the pinky of the person that you're making it for, then you want to start your decreases. So, it's a pattern. I got to give measurements. I give measurements for my hand. But if you're making it for a little guy, his pinky may be down here. If you're making it for somebody with really long fingers, like a basketball player, their pinky may be way out here. Who knows? So just measure it and go ahead and plan to start your decreases above the pinky finger, as you can see here, because we want to shape this. Now, I want to show you how to make the decreases that form the tip of the flip-flop mitt. Here we go. I want to show you how to do the decreases that start here. This is a little sample just so I can show you how to work these decreases. But let's get started. First, we're going to knit 1. At the same time, you're still working your color changes. And then we're going to knit 2 together. And then we're going to knit to the last stitch. However, looky here, I have a color change right there before I get to my, what am I going to do? Oh no. Super easy, guys. I'm just going to knit to right here. And I'm going to do my SSK on the last of this color change. I'm only one stitch off from where it should be in the pattern. But this is, depending on where you're at with your striping and your color change and the length that you knit to, it was hard to like write this into the pattern. So I wanted to show you on an example. What do you do if your slip stitches fall into where you're supposed to work your decrease? And the same applies for your increases on your thumb we talked about in the last episode. However, I'm simply going to move this over just one for this one round. Then I'll go back to normal because then my color change will be on the other side. So SSK, slip, slip, and then knit through the back loop. Grabbing the yarn. Then I'm going to slip my 3 stitches so I can keep my color change going in order. Then I pick up, I knit with my next color, boom, all the way around. So you continue doing that until you get to the tip where we're going to show you how to work the grafting stitch. To close up the top of our little flip top here, I'm using a Finchley Graft. You can use Kitchener stitch if you want, whatever you're comfortable with, but the idea is we need to take the stitches from both sides of the needles and get them together. And I like the Finchley Graft. And first step, turn it inside out. You're going to be working with the wrong sides facing you. And then I have my yarn on my tapestry needle already threaded and waiting for me. Okay. You slide through the first stitch on the front, slide through the back stitch knitwise. So both of these 2 stitches we're going to slide through as if to knit, and I'm going to slip the stitch on the back needle off and pull through. Now I'm coming back towards myself and I'm going to slip through purlwise. So I'm going to go through that, through the back stitch, through the front stitch purlwise, and I'm going to slide the stitch off of the front needle. And go back knitwise and slide off. There, like that. And this, you just repeat this. And the written instructions are in the pattern for this graft as well. So you can follow along that way, but it's super easy. Just remember to turn your work inside out. When you're going from front to back, you're going knitwise, dropping the stitch off the back needle. When you're coming towards yourself, you're going purlwise and dropping the stitch off of the front needle. Okay. So you just go ahead, go all the way across the top of your mitten, then weave in your ends, and then you are ready to pick up the stitches and make your ribbing around your thumb. And I want to show you how to do that. Okay, so now we are ready to pick up these stitches and work our ribbing on the thumb. So I just want to show you how I pick those up. Super simple. Remember, we have 17 stitches on here. Half of 17 is an odd number. That's okay, because what we're going to do is we're going to pick up 10 stitches for one half, pick up 7, and then here where we cast on the 3 stitches, we're going to pick those up. So then you'll have 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 and 10 make 20. Easy math, right? It's all in your pattern too, so don't worry about it. It's all there. But I just want to show you how I pick up these stitches. I've got my scrap yarn here. I'm going to pull that up so I can get to these stitches, slide my needle in. I've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'm going to pull, because I like magic loop, but if you have another way, if you want to use double points, that's fine as well. Or 2 circulars. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up the 7 here. Now this last one is hiding. It's fell down in there, so I'm going to tug on my scrap yarn and it popped right up. But you can barely see it there. So that I'm looking for that orange right there. That's why you need to use contrasting color with your scrap yarn, because I almost lost that stitch. There it is. Pulled it up there. Okay, so I'm going to slide those on. There we go. And now I've got 10 here, 7 here. Pick up and knit 3 stitches from inside there. So I want to show you how you pick. I mean, you guys know how to knit all the way around, but I want to show you what you're looking for when you want to pick up these stitches inside here. You'll have a cast on edge. Now, like I said, when we were doing this, cast on however you want. If you want a backwards loop, that's fine. If you want to do the knitted cast on like I did, that's fine. The main thing when you're picking up in between here is evenly disperse those 3 stitches in this space. So I'm going to slide right in here, insert my needle, then I'm going to take my yarn, make a loop, wrap it around, bring it through, go through the next 2. I want 2 loops. I like 2 loops. You can do 1 loop. I just like the structure of picking up the 2 strands of the loop. There we go. And 3. I've got my 3 stitches. And there. Now, I've got 10 and 10. I'm ready to start the ribbing, and that was the same as we did here. Knit 1, purl 1 all the way around, and then bind off, and then you have your thumb. So there you go. Go ahead and wet block them. So you want to soak them in room temperature water with a little bit of wool soap like Eucalan for about 15 to 30 minutes. Then when you take them out, you'll put them on a towel. Do not wring them out. That'll distort your stitches. Lay them in a towel, roll the towel up, and then squish, squish, step on them. Wick out as much water as you can. Then bring in your mitten blocker. You'll slide that in. And I have the pointy side up because these are a little pointy. Slide that in like this. Through there. Pop this over. Line it up. And then this one, the pointy end goes down. It just, and you'll feel it. It kind of leans up against this piece, but it's just in there to hold that shape. So you can hang them. You can lie them flat to dry, whatever works for you. But with the holes that are in the mitten blocker, they dry pretty fast, so you're good. But I do suggest taking a moment to stretch out this piece right here and just laying it down so that, because it has a tendency to curl up because there's no extra stitching there, which is fine when you're wearing them. But the first time around, you know, you kind of want those to look a little more presentable. Then after they dry, you're good to go. Feel free to make several pairs. Get the kit at onebighappy.com. The kit includes the pattern and the yarn you need. Thank you so very much for joining me for these fingerless mitts with a flip top knit along. I had a lot of fun designing these and making these. I'm actually making more at home because my children want them for Christmas presents this year. So if you're thinking along the lines of Christmas, they whip up pretty quickly. They would make some great Christmas gifts. Feel free to subscribe for more videos. Check us out on Facebook. But most importantly, happy knitting.